What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Drury Outdoors 100% Wild podcast, powered by Deercast, hosted by two young men who aren't afraid to ask the question, are you going to eat all that?
You keep calling us young, but
the more I say it, the more people may believe it.
It's still not true.
We have boyish voices. You know what I'm saying?
No.
You're Matt Drury.
You're Tim Chelsvik. Not
turkey killers yet. Someday.
Yeah. It's, hey.
We've been guiding our children.
Benny Boy got his dad on one this morning.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So
we're all guides.
And we're here. I was with Kyle McClellan yesterday. I took him out to a couple different spots and we get to the third week of the season out here and it feels like it's the end of May the way it looks. I mean, it is so green.
It's going to hit the 70s today.
Yeah. So it was a little tough. I mean, and the turkeys have all been jacked with. You know, it's like everybody's been called to a billion times.
I've got three gobblers at this 9-acre parcel. I've been talking to them all season, and by now they're like, "Oh, it's that guy. He's back again." Sophie and she came out with me. Was it Saturday morning? And we called this jackass in to 35 yards in the plot, and I'm like, well, he might come in close. Hindsight, I should have just taken her 410 and dropped him right there.
To kill him with a bow.
Yeah, I was like, let's let him try to work into the decoys.
Hey, one day you'll learn.
He just, I don't know, saw something he didn't like, or he's just too timid, or heard something he didn't like in my sweet calling. But
yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah. Anyway, I almost got in a wreck this morning on my way to the studio.
I'm glad
looking
you're all right.
at a strutter in one of the ag fields here on
141
the Cloverleaf.
On
141 and 364. Yeah.
Yep.
You
just teasing you.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we got about a week left here, less than a week, so there's still time.
I'm not heartbroken.
I'm not really either. We've had chances and the kids killed their turkey, so really all I cared about.
We're bigger than needing to kill a turkey.
I mean,
more evolved.
We're just used to it, Tim.
Or that. Well, we got a treat for you guys. We're going north of the border, the U.S.-Canadian border, on this week's show.
Not the 51st state.
Some international relations to smooth out this morning. We got Keith Beasley jumping in from Canada in the rough. What's up?
Hey, guys. Nasty day up here, and fun to hear you talk about turkeys because I think I can relate with everything you just said. So,
man,
feel exactly the same way. Ready for it to be over. It's been a grind, and but some kids got some birds, so exciting things up here for sure.
That's good. Yesterday Ben and I we finished hunting with Kyle, and we're like, well, should we strike again? We try striking the birds one more time before we left the property, and they didn't, of course, gobble. And he's like, we going tomorrow? I was like, I got a podcast in the morning and I got some other stuff going on at the office. I probably won't. He's like, the way I look at it, he's like, we got all summer not to hunt. But he goes, we got 1 week left to hunt and we're going to miss it.
I think about that. Yeah.
And he's like, you know what? He's right. Cause it's only a 3-week season here. I don't know about you guys, but it's just like, man, he's right. It is about over. And it's like that. So.
It's and then Keith, I don't think it's the same in Canada. I know you guys do have mothers, but in the U.S. we have Mother's Day, which is on Sunday.
It's the exact same. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
The only difference
I think the mothers are the same too. If I know the biology right, but yeah.
See, this is what it's about: cultural understanding. Like
you're trying to take this political, so I don't want to get involved in those town conversations.
It's a no win situation.
There's no win on that one.
Yeah.
But yes, big day here this Sunday. Yep.
Who did that?
What?
Put Mother's Day.
And to throw a wrench in that, up here it's the opening of walleye, so it's extra challenging too. So just turkey season, walleye. Who thought of that? Why didn't they make it in July when there's no hunting and fishing season opening?
Hey, honey, how about we grab the tackle boxes and we celebrate?
Nothing says I love you and thank you like I'm going fishing. Have a great day.
Yeah. Well, to make it extra tough, it's actually my anniversary, Mother's Day. So.
That's kind of smart though. Like you kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Actually,
that's not allowed though. That's not allowed. No. One gift for both doesn't count.
It's just, I hate to say it. Luckily, she doesn't watch or listen, but she's only getting one gift.
She doesn't watch or listen. Did we all marry the same woman? That's funny.
My wife's birthday is on Christmas Day.
Oh.
So that's like, here are your birthday presents. Here are your Christmas presents.
Here's a kiss. That's your birthday present.
Kids and I got you
Here's
a hug.
That's the rest of it.
Yeah, but hold on, Tim. Are you going to show Matt and I up? Does your wife watch?
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. All right.
His wife's hatred may run deeper than mine.
She thinks I do meth on Tuesday mornings when we film these. She doesn't know.
Yeah.
That's too funny.
Well, we want to talk about spring bear hunting because, we were just talking about how short a season turkey is in the spring and there's not much else to hunt. But I know a lot of guys, especially here in the Midwest, going north to hunt a bear is just part of their annual cycle.
And before we get into that, I would love for you to give our audience who may not be familiar with what you guys do up there, give them a little bit of a high level view of kind of the background of your company and to start, because you go onto your social media. I mean, your YouTube channel is huge and you got a big social following as well. So a lot of people may already be aware. But just in case they aren't, our audience obviously probably pretty predominantly Midwestern. Maybe give them a rundown of what you guys do.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited to chat hunting and excited to see in a little bit, Tim. Our company, Canada in the Rough, is my two brothers and I, Paul and Kevin. We have mothers that we celebrate on this Sunday, Tim. And
the same mother,
same mother.
And
we're just very spoiled and blessed to be chasing a dream for the last 21 years that we call making a living hunting. So I know you guys can relate. It comes with some ups and downs, but the ups are pretty incredible. We've seen every corner of Canada and the corners that we want to see. No offense to some major metropolitan centers, but those aren't the places we're visiting. We spend a lot of time in remote parts of Canada. And for those listening that don't know this, there's more people in California than there is in all of Canada. So it's a pretty phenomenal place to be a hunter and an angler. And our hunting series has been, we're airing our 21st season right now. And then as you guys know, and probably all your listeners know, this animal we call social media has kind of come out of nowhere on us in the last decade and kind of taken our world by storm in a good way. And some days a bad way, because creating content is a beast. Mm-hmm. And it's given us lots more reasons to be outside, which is the good part. But this YouTube thing, social media, heck, we have a TikTok channel, guys, that I haven't even been on myself. We have a really great 20-year-old kid here that runs that. And I don't even know. I'm old, so I don't even have my own TikTok account, but at work we do. So.
You have no idea what's being posted over there.
Well, he approves it through us, but man, it's another animal. I was at the hockey arena one night, and this really nice mother I know come up to me. He goes, "Keith, I absolutely love your TikTok content, and it's different than our other content." And I said, I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you for letting me know.
I'll pass that on.
That's really good to know.
What kind of content do you guys put up there? Because every time we had a channel for the longest time, we just kept getting banned for just really stupid stuff. It was, shed hunting videos, and that'd be cruelty to animals and stuff like that. I mean, how do you guys? What kind of content are you producing on the TikTok side?
Heavy animal content and not a lot of hunting content. Yeah. So it's you guys know the challenges of this world right now. It's you cannot win right now. You cannot win. We get a warning every other day. We're constantly appealing to try to talk and ask and do us better. And I think there's groups out there that just come and press a button on your stuff that reports you. I really believe that.
Keith, I'm going through your TikTok right now and it's all mukbang videos.
I don't even want to know what that is.
I don't know what that means in the U.S. because that might be different than up here, but that doesn't sound good. So, did you hit like though, Tim?
Did you like it?
Okay. Oh, he's following.
Then success. The 20-year-old knew what he was doing.
They're weird, like people are just eating things and talking about eating things.
It's
gross.
I'm not Googling mukbang.
Don't. Who knows what'll come up? Don't trust him.
Yeah. So
I think Tim's setting me up to get banned.
Keith, I'm curious, with as much kind of primitive, unimproved wilderness that you guys spend your time in, any Bigfoot encounters?
I don't like being asked this question publicly because I don't think I have the right answer for everybody, but no. Mm-hmm. We run about 35 deer cameras a year, and 15 turkey cameras, and I've been to every corner of the country. I have no good evidence for you on that.
Okay.
But I would love one. I mean, if it happens, I will be rolling.
So here's the question: if you come across one, are you hunting it? Are you are you just filming it?
So this feels like one of these other questions on biology. I can't win on that answer, so I'll wait on the moment and how threatened I feel. How about that?
there you go.
This is like someone asked him if he's going to run for president or prime minister.
He's trying to steer this ship out of every political direction, and you keep steering us right back in there, Tim. So we're gonna move along.
Yep. Bad influence.
So, all right, I got to, before we dive into the bear talk, I'd like to know, I've seen some pretty big deer pictures, on your social media, and like what province are you guys primarily hunting? Is it Ontario, or because you hear about Saskatchewan, you hear about Alberta. I don't know that I necessarily hear about Ontario as much as far as the provinces go.
So we're born and raised in Ontario, so obviously we have our own bear tag here, which makes facilitating filming a lot easier because you're not eating up a quota tag from an outfitter. It's just an add-on because it's our own residential tag. So we're here 2 bear hunts a year in Ontario, and then we kind of jump one hunt back and forth, but we're usually in Manitoba every year. We film bear hunt in Manitoba every year. This year, last year we were in New Brunswick as well. This fall will be in New Brunswick as well for a fall bear hunt. But Saskatchewan has phenomenal bear hunting. Alberta has phenomenal bear hunting, but when we go to Saskatchewan, Alberta, we're trying to chase whitetails or waterfowl. So it's all about measuring out the balance and finding where to hit a sweet spot in each province. And listen, you can't go wrong with bear hunting anywhere in Canada, actually. Newfoundland has absolute giant black bears, like gigantic black bears. New Brunswick, Quebec, black bears are across the country. British Columbia, as you guys know, on the coast, the interior has massive black bears. So you can't go wrong. It's but we primarily are Ontario or Manitoba, New Brunswick.
Well, what about the whitetails? Where do you primarily hunt those?
So we hunt our own here on our own tags. So we're always chasing deer here. That's our what started us. That's our passion. That's probably similar to the jury's original story. That's the Beasleys. It's all we had, actually. We don't have anything else here. Turkeys came as we were adults. So we had whitetails. So but Saskatchewan is without a doubt the place we dream to go for whitetails. But Alberta's right beside it. I mean, I missed a 190-inch deer in Alberta a couple years ago. Rested my barrel on the ledge of a wooden stand like a complete rookie. Rested the barrel, pulled down on the strap, made a 162-yard shot, and put the bullet 18 inches over his back. And I think about it every day.
It's funny how that works. Those never leave you.
A 190, that would haunt my dreams.
Yeah, like 14-inch twos and 5x6 with a 20. Yeah, it was a giant. He got killed the next year with a bunch of junk at 220.
Probably would have been a bad eaten deer, though.
And a deer that nobody'd ever seen, like remote wilderness, no camera on him, just hunting a scrape line on a seismic line cut through for the oil rigs through a big piece of timber, and he crossed out on a seismic line, stopped him with a whistle, and he was an absolute incredible deer.
What's a seismic line?
Where they'll cut a 10-yard swath through a piece of timber to run oil equipment through, like they're testing for oil lines and stuff, running pipe.
Tim knew that.
Yeah.
Tim knew that.
I might have the wrong wording too. Don't quote me, guys. I'm not an Alberta oil expert, but it was just a cut piece of timber.
So how big are these properties that you're typically hunting?
So Canada is crazy unique, guys, like crazy unique. So the last bunch of deer I've shot in Saskatchewan are all on Crown land. Most of Canada is not private. It's Crown land. That's what makes it so unique. And the hunting and fishing here is so incredible. So where we live in Southern Ontario, if I went over the border, Lake Ontario, we're 80 miles north of Lake Ontario. If we went over the border, we're down between Rochester and Syracuse. So like we're right down on that side. Everything's private where we live. So everything's the same as where you guys are. You're fighting over 1,500 acre plots. Every whitetail you kill, 10 other guys knew it. Every turkey you hunt, somebody else called it. But as soon as you go an hour north of our house, like where I'm going bear hunting this year, once we leave an hour north of home, we'll have 10-hour driving. It'll be pure crown land. And you'll drive right to the Arctic.
So that's just like federal government property,
federal government land. Anybody that's that has a legal hunting tag here can hunt that land. They can put up their own bear bait. They can put up their own tree stand. And when you guys think of crown land or public forest, there might be 80 guys hunting one public forest, fighting over who got in there first, 7 trucks at the parking spot. That's not the case here. Like you could walk for thousands of miles and not run in or step where someone else has stepped. Like when I say vast, I mean vast. Like deer hunting in remote Canada, bear hunting. You want to know where you're coming in and out of, or have a tool to get you in and out, a compass or something electronic, because you get turned around on a blood trail up in these woods. It's another story. But I live in the ag belt down here in the south, off that Lake Ontario basin, and then literally 30 miles north of me is the Canadian Shield. And we're the land of lakes where I live. So I can have the kids fishing in 100 different lakes in an hour of my house with a boat launch and just public access.
It's really crazy to think of the wilderness. I mean, you see that, like you go, I've been to Alberta a few times with Corey Jarvis and Three Rivers Adventures, but even like going to Idaho or in the United States, heading out west, you get some of that. The scale is crazy. And you just don't get that obviously in the Midwest because it's so parceled out and mostly private. There's some big public lands, but not like what you're talking about. So when you're in those kind of destinations, are you using like a Garmin InReach, or like what's your critical piece of equipment? I just think of like the safety factor and trying to communicate back, with loved ones back home, and if you get into danger or any of those kind of things.
100%. I mean, I always have a compass, but a Garmin InReach is always something we have around for sure. And it's unique. Like Corey's an amazing guy, by the way. Good. I consider him a good friend, and he's all on private land. So he's hunting private land with permission. He's right beside the big blood reserve there, which is private to the band. But as soon as Matt, you look west and see those Rockies, those are Crown, right? Okay. Other than what the blood reserve owns in that Waterton Provincial Park, and the blood reserve owns a bunch there, that's all Crown land through there, like all Crown. As soon as you hit that border and even the interior of those Rockies in the Alberta side, that's all public access. Like we've shot moose just west of Corey there, all on public land on those foothills of the Rockies. So it is vast, and it is an incredibly huge country. As you guys know, like to drive from Ontario on the Trans-Canada Highway to get out of Ontario is 24 hours. I can be in Disney World in Orlando with my kids in 22, just to put that in perspective, to get out of Ontario. Now, that's not a straight road. That's going over Lake Superior. But that's what makes it so special up here. And, I know, Matt, we chatted quickly at Shot about, what are we doing with our YouTube? We're all of us influencers talking about ideas, what to do better. And I don't think we have a secret recipe, but I do think we got an unfiltered piece of Canadian wilderness with the best wildlife. And that's no knock on America, by the way. That's just, we have an office to play in every day that is just untouched wilderness and wildlife every day. Well,
so Keith, you and I were talking. So Keith and I are going on a spring bear hunt here at the end of May, and we were talking about logistics. And Keith mentioned from his place, it's a 12-hour drive north in Ontario, and I thought maybe that was a typo, or maybe he misspoke at first. But it's a legit 10, 12-hour trip, right? Now, is that because it's a lot of like unimproved county road? Like what kind of travel is that?
Yeah, great question. So every province has major highway across it. 4 lanes, a median, most of the case at some point in the province. So there's amazing roads to cross every province. But as soon as you veer off that road, you're onto county or township roads. And then Tim, that hunt, we're gonna be 100 miles south of Hearst. So the Trans-Canada Highway will get us to Hearst. And then we're going to be on logging roads. They're created for natural resources. They're created for logging purposes. Mm-hmm. That's why they're funded. That's why they're there. But if you want to get into walleye every cast that have never seen a hook, you don't mind driving 12 hours. You want to get into bears that have never seen a human, you don't mind driving 12 hours. I can put you on bears here, but they're farm agriculture bears that are heavily pressured, heavily hunted. We're going to be going into the middle of nowhere. You will 100%, Tim, walk in places people have never walked, without a doubt.
Man. Stupid bears, stupid walleyes.
It's a good problem. It's a good problem. They still smell, though. Don't kid yourself. They still got a great nose, but they get big. They get mature. There's age classes, right? And it's really nice. It's a really nice system in every province. And as a Canadian, we can bounce to other provinces through certain programs, certain opportunities. Not easy, but just like you guys, you can cross state lines and buy tags or get hosted in other states. So we're making a living in a phenomenal place to be a hunter.
Yeah, it's a great
phenomenal.
position
And
to be in.
people talk about the good old days. I think the good old days are still here. Like I really do. Right down to this whitetail thing. Like I think we would have killed more in the 90s had we been smarter as young hunters.
Mm.
But man, we shot 3 big mature bucks locally this year. We worked our butts off for them, but they're still here, and the turkeys are here, and things are thriving. So
Good time to be alive.
I'm interested on the turkey side. You said, as growing up as kids, there weren't turkeys there. So what was the reintroduction like, or was it an introduction? I mean, were they there previously and just, died out or were killed out?
the math I'm hearing is the reintroduction. They were here, whatever, 80 and 100 years ago. But late 80s and mid 90s was a heavy push for that. But our area, our county, didn't have one in it, really. So we when we figured out that they were around and we were old enough to sort out, there's turkeys an hour over there, we started driving and knock doors, get up at 2 a.m. and we drive. So, and then they just started to come. I don't know what changed. I really don't. But they started to come in, and we killed our first one here 20 years ago. And now we got enough to take care of our family and kids. And I still don't think it's crazy numbers, but we got great numbers. But a lot has changed here. Like when my dad was a kid growing up on these farms, like we're on a 100-acre farm here. So I'm in a farmhouse. Our studio is on a 100-acre property. This farm area, when my dad was young, he could count on one hand how many deer he's seen in his lifetime.
Sure.
And then in our childhood, the deer started to grow. And that came with the introduction of corn as a big crop in the 70s and 80s. The deer were getting through the winter better, moving out of the Canadian Shield down to agriculture. And you guys know this too. Like, look at the snow goose migration, right? Like what America and Canada's done in the agriculture sectors. The snow geese are just feeding like they've never fed before. They're so I think we're living in a great time where wildlife is thriving off of the help of man and help of great management, and things are doing well.
I was just curious if on the turkey side, if it was had anything to do with temperature, like, hey, it's not as cold as it once was, or the winters aren't as bad as they once were, and so that's helping the hatches and helping survival rates and all that kind of stuff. I have no idea. I'm just curious.
No, it's a great question, and the simple answer is I think they were here a long time ago, and they weren't anymore, but the winters are definitely not as severe as they were when I was a kid. And that being said, they were horrific this year. We had legit 3 feet of snow up until March. We definitely lost some deer and some turkeys. Our turkey numbers are down this year compared to last year, but they held through. Like there was 2 days here at this farm right here that turkeys didn't come off the roost for 2 days. So we definitely see some tough times on them, and we're really bad in Southern Ontario for freezing rain. So we'll get 6 inches of snow in December, early February, and then we'll get an inch of freezing rain cost. And that'll be really devastating on our turkeys and deer. You guys get it in the upper Midwest too, but we get it a lot here. And that's a critical one for us for healthy deer and turkeys.
Yeah, you wonder how they survive that. I mean, how you're saying they don't come down from roost in 2 days. Like that's crazy to think about.
Crazy. But it was 3 feet of fluffy snow, right? What are they coming down to?
Yeah.
Makes sense. So let's dig in then. First, maybe there's a whitetail guy listening out there on the U.S. side that has thought about, like, they see the guys going north on their social feeds and killing black bears in the spring, and just they want something to do with their bow during the spring. What are some of the steps for someone to take that step towards that adventure?
Yeah, first off, there's absolutely thousands of outfitters in Canada that offer bear hunts. And what you'll find historically is a lot of guys come up to chase walleye, chase bass, chase lake trout, and then they realize that camp offers a shoulder season for May bear hunting or September bear hunting in Saskatchewan. They're coming up for whitetails, and they realize, I can come back in April or May and shake off the cabin fever after the snows and get out for a bear hunt. So a lot of these opportunities are coming from guys who are already coming to hunt something else, realize, there's bear. So it's always like this afterthought. And I was confused by that because bear financially as a spend is without a doubt still the best value hunt that I know of in North America. To go on a guided spring or fall bear hunt is still so reasonably priced. Like Ontario, where we're going to beat him, you can buy guided American plan bear hunts, 5 to 6 day hunts, cabin, boat, motor, fishing, food for, I don't want to say the exact numbers, but $1,800 to $3,000. Those still exist in Ontario. You start to go west, Manitoba gets into $4,000 to $6,000, Alberta, Saskatchewan are $4,000 to $6,000. but Ontario's still offering $2,500 American plan spring bear hunts with a boat motor gas on a walleye lake. And as we talked about on the phone,
cheap.
Tim, one of my favorite parts of bear hunting is 99% of the time, unless the outfitter says to me or we're watching the cameras, like we really need to be in there in the morning, you don't go morning hunting for bears. You go in at 3 to 4 in the afternoon. It's perfect. Honestly, Matt, I'm with you. Like it makes it so exciting. It's daylight till 10:30. So you get in the stand 3, 4 o'clock. You sit 5, 6 hours till evening. But in the morning, you don't get up with the sun. You get up at 8 or 9 because you went to bed late. You get bacon and eggs and you go fish walleye for 3, 4 hours. You come back, you shoot your bowl, maybe have an hour nap, you go get the stand. It is the best hunt you will go on. It is unbelievable. So I'm excited to have you up, Tim. I think, is this your first bear hunt?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited because it'll be interesting for you to speak to it and you kind of answer that question. Because how do you get into it? You just make a phone call. I mean, it's that simple. And anybody that wants to call us, I get emails every week about where should I go for moose, where should I go for great mallards or sandhill cranes or elk. You guys can call anytime. I got no skin in the game. I'm not a booking agent, but we've been to hundreds of great places over the last 20 years filming. And you tell me what you're looking for in your budget, I could probably give you a great place to go. A lot of guys aren't willing to drive, but I tell everybody, if you're willing to go a little bit further, not that southern places aren't fine, they are, but you get into where you get into fishing where the fish are every cast versus you might have to work a little harder. So to me, it's worth it.
And I'll say on the administrivia side, just getting my sportsman's card or whatever it's called,
outdoors card, your Ontario outdoors card.
Getting that was not a big deal. Getting the bear application, like none of that stuff was a really big deal. You just log on to a couple different websites and it's not a hard process. Like there's not a lot of hoops to jump through.
And just to not scare anybody, like I admitted to you guys earlier, I'm not the most technical person. So you can do it at the lodge. I was just trying to get you prepared that the day we got there, there's no hiccups. There's no, I want it to be as smooth as possible. So you did it ahead of time, but you can do it when you get there too.
So you and I are going to spend some time in the walleye boat. I'm wondering, like, if Matt came along and he pulls out his Zebco 404, what's your immediate impression?
That he should grab a Phoenix.
Hey,
my immediate impression is as long as it makes him happy, man.
Thank you. Yeah. Look, I'm not a seasoned fisherman, so when I go fishing, usually there's a Zebco in hand, and that's probably 5 times in my life.
So I was watching Hank Parker fishing show this past weekend, and he was crappie fishing with Mr. Crappie, and they pulled out the new Mr. Crappie combo for the spring, and it was a Mother Griping spin cast reel. I
don't know what you're talking about.
It's the same form factor as a Zebco.
There you go. If it's good enough for Hank, I mean, he's the man.
Yep. A legend.
He is a legend. No, so but I will say, like, you're making this sound really appealing because I've talked to Tim about it before.
It's too late.
So I talked to Tim. You don't tell me what to do. For some reason, I can't get into the thought of bear hunting over bait. But everybody, the disclaimer is every single person I know that's done it is like, oh man, you would love it. You just got to go and try it. It's so much fun. I don't know how I would feel about that aspect, but I guarantee you, even though I'm not a fisherman, like the fishing, the
eating,
definitely the cooking, like shore lunch and those kind of things, like that stuff is super appealing to me. And that adventure around it is appealing to me. The actual act of bear hunting over bait, I can't wrap my head around. So what would you say to those kind of guys? Cause I'm sure I can't be the only one that kind of feels like that.
Keith and I had that same conversation.
Did you?
Yeah.
No, you're not alone at all. And listen, I think we could probably have a healthy debate here. So shoot back, like by all means, shoot back. All I would say to that is these bears do need to be managed. They really do. Like moose populations, deer populations do rely on it. And, if left unchecked, like Ontario politically shut down the spring bear hunt in 1999. Bears were so overrun in our province, municipal problems, household problems, moose calf populations being decimated that it came back in about 6 years ago to manage them. There's no way to manage bears in the boreal forest and I know what everybody means when I say the boreal forest. Like I know Minnesota would have the same terrain I'm talking about. There's no way to hunt bears in the boreal forest other than by a wing and a prayer and lock. And everybody's going to say, get smart, get out there, scout, find a trail. It doesn't, bears aren't a trail animal. They're not a fringe animal like a whitetail or an ungulate. They are a dense, thick forest critter that basically eats grass and berries and doesn't even eat a lot of meat unless it's a calf opportunity in spring or beaver. So what I'd say to that is, I don't know how else you'd hunt them. And I've been on Spot and Stock Alberta, Spot and Stock BC, grade field hunts, phenomenal. Loved every minute of it with my bow. Would do it again in a heartbeat, and will do it again. But when you come to the other provinces and the territories, I don't know how you would hunt these bears and manage them. And when you say that bait, it offers something that maybe isn't for you, I don't know, other than why does a food plot work for whitetail? Like, why are you okay with that? And why are you okay with a quarter strut Jake on a breeding hen for turkeys? Or why are you okay with a spinner mojo decoy versus just a call? Like, why not scout the cornfield X? Just use your call, cover yourself in corn stalks, and not use a decoy. Yeah. So I don't know where the line is on that. One of them's food. I get that. But it's phenomenal. And how else are you going to age and sex a bear in the boreal forest unless you can watch it for a second? How else are you going to make sure she doesn't have cubs if you can't watch it for a second? It's illegal to shoot a sow with cubs, this year's cubs. How are you going to find out if you can't watch her? If she's moving through a trail on a boreal forest line at 6 yards at one shoulder shot, which everybody knows how thick that forest is, how are you going to know she doesn't have cubs? How are you going to know it's a boar? How are you going to know it's a 250 versus a 400? Because when it's covered in thicket. So I have a lot of reasons why I have no problem with it. But number one is my wife and kids prefer bear over venison. Really? So at my house, we eat moose and bear. Venison is there, but I give a lot of venison away because there's people that need it more than me, and we love bear. Bear is one of the best meats. I'm not trying to send anybody my channel, I promise, but we do cook a lot. We have an in-house chef, and we do a lot of bear recipes to try to curve the feeling on bear. Everybody's like, they're garbage, they're fatty. I don't know who doesn't like fatty meat, by the way, who doesn't like a ribeye, but they're not a garbage animal. They're not a garbage cut. The big knock on bears is you got to cook them to medium to obviously eliminate any chance of trichinosis. So you can't cook them like you would a duck or a piece of whitetail. But medium meat's not bad meat, and it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal meat.
A lot of good points in there, and I want to circle back to the actual meat side of it, because you do hear, they feel like they get kind of trashed on a little bit. I haven't heard many other than hearing like Cam Haynes or Joe Rogan or somebody at that level talk about how good it is. You really don't hear that aspect a lot. So I want to dive back into that in a little bit. On the baiting side, I totally get what you're saying, and I totally agree with you. Like there's no other way to find them and kill them really, efficiently, right? So
efficiently,
totally makes sense to me. In regards to how it's different, that is the interesting point. How it's different than a food plot or, a decoy and we see that, especially in turkey season here, you see kind of a section of social media people that are diehard, like against reaping, and that natural response that it causes in a turkey. How's that different than a decoy? How's that different than a call? Like it feels like it's such a personal line that you draw in the sand, this invisible line of what your ethics,
the key word is personal,
for sure, what your ethics towards it are. And the way I look at it is that I don't have a problem with someone else doing it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
It doesn't excite you.
It doesn't excite me in what I'm looking for. That doesn't mean that, by the way, if I were to go on the hunt and do it,
I wouldn't,
and I'm not, you've made that clear. If I were to go on the hunt and do it, that I wouldn't fall in love with it and be excited in the moment, right? Because if you don't do it, you don't know what it is. I think part of the problem is I've seen a lot of bear hunts over time, and we more or less have a moratorium on them at Drury Outdoors. Like
our audience isn't very interested in it.
No, because it's not interesting to watch on camera, that style as much. You know what I mean? Like you mentioned like a spot and stalker, you know, going a grizzly hunt out, you know, or whatever. That's
different.
Totally different, totally different style, totally different animal, by the way. And so it's like that. I always tell the guys that the team members that say, hey, I want to go on a bear hunt. I'm like, yeah, I'm just not interested in it. Go for it. You know, unless you're spotting and stalking or something. It doesn't translate well in the edit. Somehow we haven't done our job and getting that to feel like it's not shooting fish out of a barrel. Right.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part. And I've heard every single guy that's ever gone on the hunt say the same thing. It is so much fun. You would love it. I kind of liken that to going to Africa. Like, again, I have no personal preference to do that. I really don't care to go over there and kill stuff. But everybody that's ever been has said exactly the same thing. It's the funnest hunt. It's the most awesome experience. And I have no doubt that they're telling the truth. Obviously, it's just something that's that personal, like I said, that pretend line you draw in the sand. Like, you're right. Is it any different than a food plot? You're creating something, you're putting something there to get animals to go to one spot. I mean, you know, bear hunting, they probably don't come every single time you're out there, right? I don't know what.
And Matt, I think you said two different things that are both really profound and important to mention here.
Okay.
Personally, well, Tim, I gotta. He's not coming with us, so I gotta give him some bone here. So make him feel good about himself.
Thank you.
You know, personal ethics and morals are critical and what should govern all of us. And then keyboard warriors get to come on and judge everybody else, right? So anybody that's in media, you're going to see you put yourself out there and it gets exploited. So it is what it is, good or bad. But you personally don't want to do it. I 100% agree with what everybody's told you. Like, as a hunter, as a hunter, you will love it. I guarantee you'll love it, because the chase is why we do it. If you've ever live trapped a raccoon and had to execute it in the cage, it's horrible. When the farmer called me yesterday to put down a cow to save the $750 vet bill, I hated every minute of it. Like, killing something and hunting are two totally different things. Totally different. So when you're hunting one bear or two bears and there's 10 coming through over the week and it's night 5 and the stick cracks, if you don't get an adrenaline dump and you get your bow jawbone back when the winds get there before the wind cuts there, I guarantee you'll love it. But the second thing you said was, you're a producer. You're making content. You're making TV. And bear hunting is very routine TV. It is. Ungulates have different antlers. The juries can shoot 3,000 whitetails or mule deer with Corey Jarvis over the last 40 years. I don't want to make your dad and uncle feel old there, but a long time. And they all look different. There's a different fingerprint. Bears don't. We haven't aired a turkey hunt in 4 years because the reason you're not airing bear. We put them to YouTube, we put them to social media, but we're not making one of our single 13 episodes because it's too routine, too the same. They all look identical.
Same.
They all look identical.
Yeah.
So the story you're telling about bears, I'm going to tell you about turkeys. The reason we do love the bears is because it has such a broad reach to everybody. People can come and do it. Me shooting another turkey on our farm, you know, I love every minute of it, but it's not great TV because I filmed the roost and the pitch down and the strut into the decoy and the shot 300 times. And whether it has 1.5 inch spurs or nubs as a 2-year-old, it looks the same on camera.
Yeah.
So bears are the same. Now, listen, I shot a bear of a lifetime with my bow up in Manitoba 2 years ago. I shot a 494-pound spring black bear that's going to go 21 5/16. I'm bragging about this to get to a point. It was cinnamon. It was like bright, looked like he was on fire. It's one of the greatest black bears I've ever seen with my own eyes ever. And I took him. Nobody knew he was there. There's no trail camera picture of him. So there are moments in bear hunting that have just special moments. It's like walleye fishing your whole life. You've caught a ton of 4 and 5 pounders, then you catch a 10. There's special moments in the bear woods that we all have them that are just, but what I love the most about bear hunting is winter's gone. I'm in the woods. The spring creepers or the crickets are chirping. The frogs are going in the swamp, and I'm outside hunting something with my bow and arrow, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
I'm stoked.
And then I come home that night, and whether I got them or not, I loved every minute of it. And then I get up the next morning, I go catch some fish. So anybody listening to this, I hear you, Matt. I totally hear you. But the producer side and the hunter side, I believe, are two different things. I really, really do. I think I can speak a little bit of credibility on that.
Yep.
And I think anybody listening to this would love a bear hunt. Now, what our line in the sand is when we're in a tree stand over bait, it's 100% archery. That's our line in the sand.
Mm-hmm.
That's our personal take. So that's where, if I'm on the coast, spot and stalking bears eating crabs on the Pacific edge of Vancouver Island, no problem. I pull out a rifle. But over bait at 25 yards, I love the intimacy of the bow.
Well, a big reason why people listen to the show is the psychoanalysis that happens. And I think, Matt, if I may,
please,
part of the internal struggle with you and hunting bear over bait.
I'm curious where you're taking this. What smart ass way you're going to take this. Continue.
Is the wanton waste of day-old donuts and bacon grease.
There we go. And gummy bears. We're feeding them gummy bears. They are bears. No.
It's like a chicken omelet. We can't do this.
No, it's like I said, I think if I were to do it, I would probably love it. And that's,
and again, you're not.
Thank you,
This
Tim.
May.
So let's circle back to the prepping it, the meat, what do you do with it to make it taste so good? Because, for a guy that's never had it and you've always heard almost like a wild boar or something, that's kind of like the same class that I feel like it's been put in, maybe unfairly. It sounds like
trash pandas, people like.
So how are you guys preparing it? Is it smoked? What is it that makes it, that makes the version you cook so good?
We do everything. So there's no answer to that. Bear sausage are one of the best. They don't need as much pork as a venison sausage needs because it has more fat in the meat. Roast, chops, steaks. Tim's going to be eating tenderloin with walleye. We're going to do some surf and turf on a grill, 100%. It's just amazing meat. It's amazing meat. It's amazing flavor. But to your point, Matt, I've had guides and outfitters that refuse to take a piece off the grill and put it in their mouth like it's some kind of rabid coyote. Like it boggles my mind. But there's a lot of politics around this too, right? Like BC lost the grizzly bear hunt, right? You guys are probably aware of this. Lost the grizzly bear hunt. But politically, they weren't eating it. They were taking the hide and leaving it. Like there's some things that we just as hunters got to watch and take care of, right?
Yeah.
And if you're going to hunt bears, I think you should be prepared to eat it or share it with a family that will. I give meat away. I have no qualm. When I go to Newfoundland, I can't afford always to fly my moose home. So I give it to families all the time. I give bear away. I gave 3 bear. My kids shot 3 bears last year. I gave all those away because I already had a full freezer for my fall. And families were thrilled to get them. A group of fireman buddies literally split on a butcher bill to take all the bear to put on their smokers and do on their grills. Like it's a great meat. If you haven't had it, Matt, you have to. And Tim will come home if he's got an adventurous bone in his body, and he'll have enjoyed bear meat. I'll be shocked if he doesn't like it.
Oh, Tim will. I know Tim. He's gonna eat it. He'll probably love it. And the question is, are you gonna pay to have your bear, if you kill one, shipped back here?
Depends on if I have to share it with someone else. I thought that's where Keith was going.
Yeah,
like I thought he was going to say, and he's going to bring back some bear meat for you, Matt. I think
that's the point, is you're supposed to learn how to prepare and cook it and do all that.
It's hard knowing what Keith's point was.
And then bring it back and do it here at the studio.
Grill it out.
That's right.
I'd be game for that, man.
Yeah, so would we.
We will have knives with us on that trip. Depending on the temperature, we will prep our own meat. So we will stop. Like if Tim kills one on Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, we will be cutting up that bear and making sure it's prepped in cuts, boneless, skinless, and we'll get it ready 100%, get it on ice. Like we do take this part of it very seriously, where we love to hunt, but we love to prep the meat and make sure it's in good hands.
I think it'd be hilarious if, like, let's say I kill a bear and then Keith's like, all right, it's time to let's dress this thing out. And I'm like, ew, it kind of stinks. And like I turn into a complete pansy.
That's probably what will happen.
If you've got it a rutting buck, there's no other animal that's going to bug you. Like, it just is what it is. My big worry, Matt, is the podcast the week after the hunt. I'm worried he's going to pull out stale gummy bears and try to share them with me. That's my stress. He was down at the barrel. He was sneaking at the barrel. We weren't looking, filling his pockets.
Why isn't Tim seeing bears? Well, he's eating much of the bait that exists.
Do you guys have
Casey's pizza? We turned the camera off the barrel and put it on Tim.
That's right.
Keith, what do you do if you get into bear camp and you find like a couple days in that the person you brought really doesn't have a great personality,
They suck.
morally
To put it nicely.
questionable decisions.
Oh, and
He's kind of a dick.
Well, you tell them that COVID magically hit, and you call Matt and see if he'll swap them spots.
Nice. Tim's quarantined.
On bear meat, is that a really dark color? Like the color of the meat, is that a really red or really dark, or what is that?
Red. It reminds you of beef. I mean,
Yeah.
if you cut a piece off, if you could tell the difference raw of beef, I'd be surprised.
Gotcha.
This is a
And
question.
you got to remember, like a bear sleeps up here 6 to 7 months a year. Sleeps, doesn't move, just letting all that fat wear down on its body. And then when he comes out of the den, like they're crushing greens right now, like crushing greens to get their system running. He will eat a beaver and he will eat a moose calf if he can get a hold of it. But this thing is eating berries and grass all summer. Like that's what they spend their days doing.
Mhm.
They're omnivores, but primarily they are eating fruits and vegetables. Like they are a beautiful meat.
So I know you said they're pretty fatty, but this time of year are they pretty lean because they're coming out of hibernation?
They are, like if you know, but a big one that rolls out, if he had a good winter and the winter was somewhat mild in the area, he'll come out with a ton of fat still on them. They'll lose 20 to 30%, but they'll still come out with 2-3 inches of fat on their back. You shoot that same bear in the fall going into the den, he'll have 9 inches of fat on his
Holy
back
shit.
above its butt.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
He's
amazing.
like me. This is a question Matt had. What makes a cinnamon bear taste like cinnamon?
Yeah, it's usually the chocolate sauce. Yeah, in honor of the.
I'm getting fancy now. You know, one of the things that whenever I tell someone like I'm going on a spring bear hunt, they always bring up estimating size and what a challenge that can be, especially for someone that has not gone and doesn't have kind of the scale of relativity. So what do you normally tell people, Keith?
Yeah, an interesting talk back to the baiting thing. I know myself 2 really good hunters that have shot 2 and 3 year old bears. Like I mean 50 and 80 pound bears at a distance with a rifle stalking, because when they walked out on the road, they thought they were huge. It sounds ridiculous, but these are avid guys. But there's nothing to compare it to. So the perspective that far away, the ears, the eyes, the rump, the shape looked big. So that's one reason that something set out of your tree stand that you know the size of helps. After a while, in close, you just get to see. So like boars have longer snouts. Sows have a shorter face, just genetically. Boars obviously bigger. If you see a 300 plus pound black bear, it's a no doubter. Like it is a no doubter. Your body goes wow. For the whitetail guys, it's when a 115 2-year-old walks out or a 155 inch 4-year-old walks out. You don't wonder anymore.
Both are getting shot.
Both are getting shot. But just like a male dog, if it's a male, he pees in the middle of his belly. If it's a female, it's coming at the back, right? You can see the hairs around his pecker where he's gonna piss too, right? So you can see all that stuff. So if you got time. So yeah, sorry to give you a biology
Our
lesson.
audience is not accustomed to that kind of
Pecker talk.
What was the audio Matt just did a minute ago?
He's kind of a dick.
Yeah. So Pecker I thought was safe.
You're safe. I liked it.
I'm clutching my pearls.
So what about the ears? Because you hear about that, smaller ears, bigger bear, bigger ears, smaller. Is that true? I mean, are you even looking at that as much or?
We're talking giants when you're getting into that.
Okay.
We're talking giants. So, and if you're nowadays, like Tim sent up some cameras, they're going to be cameras on the baits. If there's one in there, we're going to probably have an idea. You're talking big bears when the ears are laying to the side. Like we're talking 19 to 20 inch skull stuff into the Pope and Young, Guna Croc. Like you're talking monsters. And if they're that big, I don't know if the ears are that matter, but there's definitely the crease in the head. Like absolutely. Like when you get a big boar, there will be head stakes on each side of his forehead. They literally, like I'm not kidding, when you butcher it, you'll get head stakes on each side, and that makes the crease.
Oh,
so there's where the crease is. That huge piece of meat on his head, 2 of them, makes this massive crease down the middle. So the crease, the ears off the side are absolutely features, but a longer muzzle and just a bigger frame, longer legs, younger, more adolescent boars, the 4 to 8 year olds. Longer legs on them. They haven't grown in their body. It'd be like a 6'2", 16-year-old boy. Like you can tell he's not a man yet on his features, but he's going to be a big guy. Yeah, but when you get a big mature bear, they're good. And you can shoot a sow as long as she doesn't have this year's cubs. So there's a lot of 250-pound beautiful big sows.
it just being in the woods with an animal of that size. I mean, we've got bears here in Missouri. They're just still pretty rare. We have kind of a fledgling season for them and have for probably 8 years now. But to be in the same woods with an apex predator like that, that's just going to be magical and exciting, regardless of how close you get.
On that aspect of it, the apex predator side, so you have seen like the videos on social media or on wherever you get your content, where like a bear will climb up the tree that the guy's in. He's just like shoo, get away, and they don't really seem like they don't seem intimidating in that spot. Is that, I mean, do you see that often, or is it pretty rare?
They're not people eaters, right? Like they're literally not people eaters. Like if he catches your wind, he's turning and running. Like I had a 500-pound bear come in New Brunswick one time. He caught my wind. That outfitter never seen him again. Like never seen him again, year after year that season. So, and that's not a guarantee. It's just like a whitetail. They could win you be back tomorrow, but they don't want to eat you. Like the bear stories are, if you get between a mom and a cubs, there's serious problems. That has nothing to do with her eating. So we've had them start up our tree. We've had them nose up the ladder. We've dropped stuff on them to get them away. But that's usually the young adolescent ones. Yeah. That's not usually the big mature ones that you're chasing. And they're just curious. They don't know. They haven't seen people before. Like literally they haven't seen people. But I've seen lots of bears in the middle of nowhere catch the wrong human scent and just gone.
So is that part of why the bait's also critical? Because I had heard, I don't remember who told us this or who told me this, that if a bear's there, he already knows you're there. He already knows there's a human there, but he's coming in anyways because of the smell of the bait pile.
I told you that.
Was it you, Tim?
Out of my wealth of bear experience.
But it might have been, I hunted with a guide, Clayton Gallagher out of Idaho, and they do a bear camp as well. And it might have been him telling me that, but he's like, yeah, they already know you're probably there, but the bait, that's why bait's so critical too, because they're coming into that as much as anything.
I think it's like anything. If you talk to enough waterfowl guys, enough turkey guys, enough deer guys, enough moose guys, you're going to hear 10 different opinions and all can get it done. I've absolutely 100% had bears come in that they knew something wasn't right, but the stomach overrides their intuition. And then I've hunted lots of big bears where they want nothing to do with that scene if something's not right. And you'll see them at 80 yards. Just like a deer, like nose in the air. This isn't right. Circle back, stomp back and forth, and then go and never come back. So I think it's like anything, guys. You hunt long enough, you'll see literally everything. I mean, I could tell you all our rules of whitetails, and then another guy will just break the rule and kill a giant, right? But we treat hunting like So my dream and hope for Tim is he comes and has a good time. He's not a dick and has a nice personality. He's fun to hang out with. But I hope he sees bears. Like I hope he sees bears. Like my dream for any bear hunter is to watch bears that you're going to pass. That you're seeing them come in and out, and you're getting to watch them at 20 yards and enjoy what it is. And then when the right one comes, and you make a shot. But the experience of being out there and watching bears in the wild is truly one of the most enjoyable hunts. I'm not going to lie to you. The walleye fishing in the morning, I love to fish. So that's a highlight for me. And this camp has great food too. So Tim looks a lot skinnier than me, so he'll have to be worried about me trying to steal his snacks. But other than that,
it's all portion. He won't have snacks. All you'll have to worry about is if he has a Casey's pizza, he'll try to give it to you because he won't eat pizza. It's more you'll have to worry about all the things he won't eat. He won't eat carbs. He won't eat pizza. He won't have anything to drink. He won't there's the rules for Tim.
Well, the other level is I'll judge everyone around me
that does all those things
silently, but I'll do that.
Yeah, here's the real question. Will you bait Tim's hook and will you get the fish off the hook?
Oh, goodness. I hope so. I don't want to get my little fingies dirty. Leeches and minnows. Ugh.
He didn't answer.
Keith's like, whip.
That's a no.
He's bringing the fishing rod, so I don't want to make a comment. I want a fishing rod. So
you're bringing a fishing rod,
Phoenix.
So you're bringing it.
We're shipping them up there.
I see.
Yeah, but there's only 2, so I can't get a third. Otherwise, I'd say, come on.
Okay. Yeah, don't worry. Well, it's just going to be you 2 guys in camp.
Kind of romantic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shore
lunch. There are 2 producers, but Tim's not allowed to ask our producer for uncomfortable things to film, just for the record.
But I can make suggestions, right? Like
You
take
can
some
ask them. You're just not allowed to peer pressure them.
I don't think so, Tim.
So I really think after this 45 minutes that the three of us need to go. I don't hunt next year. And I just film you two having an adventure together in the wilderness. That's what I think.
We've never done that.
You two clearly need to go on a hunt together and be in a fishing boat. I'll be in the other boat filming.
So far, we've been able to avoid it.
I think the Rack Pack would like to see it though.
Yeah.
If they have Facebook in Canada, you could join the Rack Pack, Keith, if you wanted to.
I think we do a Facebook in Canada actually, and once the igloos melt and we build our summer houses, I think we might get on social media too.
Two things we've learned: Canada has mothers and Facebook.
Yeah.
And pet penguins.
And they tell everyone to take off.
Hey, take off. Hey.
Should we get into the next round of shenanigans?
Carrie Beardeman gave us a shout out, and he said, "Thank you for the show, guys. Your kids are so funny and fun to watch. You guys are great entertainment." Oh, our kids are getting some.
Or maybe he's saying
damage.
you kids. Maybe he's older.
Well, Lola was calling on the slate.
That's right.
Sophie was killing her turkey.
That video went super viral too. Have you looked at the views on that?
1.1 million on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to do well. I've been trying to get the social team to push it for basically a month now.
Yeah. And then there's the crappy people that were like, I don't know where those turkeys came from.
Walker, they were shitting on you guys for having that she had a Walker's game year on outdoors. It's like she's a kid.
Imagine spending $300 to hunt with earmuffs on.
Yeah. So what, you probably haven't seen this, or maybe you have. So Tim's daughter had one of the best youth hunts I've ever seen, turkey youth hunts I've ever seen. And she's sitting back against a tree. They're not in a blind or anything like that. Tim's, 10 yards to her right.
Yeah.
And filming, and three longbeards walk right between the two of them. She's looking the wrong direction. She's looking over her left shoulder. They're coming over her right. And this is all on camera,
two angles on it. Yeah.
And she does fantastic, makes an awesome shot, moves the gun barrel when she needed to. They're steps away from her. And it was just a real heartwarming video.
Yeah, neat video. But then I was like, man, I can't wait to see.
Don't let her read the comments.
No.
I know we're out of time, but is that not the most incredibly confusing thing in the world, that you can post content and the comments are outrageously just, you can make a perfect shot on a deer and 30 guys will tell me I'm an idiot. Yeah. It's like, I can't comprehend the comments. Yeah. I scoped myself last year. We put that out there. I get it. Make fun of me. I get it. Yeah, but when you make the comments, on your little girl's hunt, what could be wrong about that?
A 13-year-old girl has a smashed turkey kill and you still found things
idiot
oh, she shot those turkeys all wadded up. I bet the other three or the other two
obviously didn't
walk away. And it's like, I'm still hunting the other two. They're fine.
They're a little more weary,
believe me. 100%. But
it is mind-boggling, but that is part of it. If the end game is you're putting your content out there, you're going to subject yourself to that kind of stuff. And I remember the first few, the early days of, let's say, a chat room. I remember back in the day, DruryOutdoors.com had a chat site on it. And Mark,
was that the Inner Circle?
No, before this, early days, late 90s, early 2000s. And I know Mark just tore Mark and Terry up, and they want to fight every guy that, comments on it. And then you get into Facebook and YouTube, and now they don't, for the most part, they're not. Terry never really did, but they're not looking at the comments, you can't, because the one common denominator is that when you get that many people viewing something, you're gonna hear a lot of viewpoints, and they're not all educated viewpoints, and they weren't there with you. They don't know exactly how it went down. And some guys, to their defense, they can't fathom even seeing the animal because their hunting experiences might have been so poor or are so poor. Yeah. And we know we're blessed with the opportunity to hunt private ground, even though that was 10 acres that you're on. Acres, it's not like it's a 1,000-acre forest here. Mm-hmm. So you have to kind of put, even though they're idiots, you want to say every time you're an idiot, you just kind of brush it off at this point because like there are idiots out there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You're going to just
fascinates me. It's fascinating. You do something what you think is perfect and educating perfectly.
Yeah.
And they just tear you a new one.
Mark,
like, no, you should have shot it in the ear. I'm like, well, I don't shoot deer in the ear.
Yeah. Mark had a field dressing video of a doe we put out years ago on YouTube. It's our most viewed video. And it's because people are just shitting on him for how he field dressed that deer. And
the most success is because people are angry about it.
Yeah, the videos that do well are because
Mark Jury's most famous videos because people dumping on him. That hurts my brain.
And it was a doe. It wasn't a big deer. It was just him field dressing a doe. They had a real problem with how he did it. But that's the internet, man.
You're right. Yeah. You put yourself out there. It is what it is. So I get it.
Hey, we've got
congrats to your girl, Tim. That's awesome.
It was awesome.
Thank you.
This segment of 100% Wild is brought to you by PH Outdoors. Check out the full line of the G Series and brand new M Series drills at phoutdoors.com.
We've got a wildlife word this week. It's sponsored by PH Outdoors and our buddy Paul Hollis over there. It's a black bear edition. What protein hormone is released during black bear hibernation to suppress their appetite? Is it A, leptin, B, glycogen, C, dopamine, or D, Battlestar Galactica?
We always let the guests go first, and since you're an expert, you're definitely going on this one. What do you say?
Oh my goodness. What not even sure I fully heard the question there.
Yep. Yeah. What protein hormone is released during black bear hibernation to suppress their appetite? Is it A, leptin, B, glycogen, C, dopamine, or D, Battlestar Galactica?
So since I have absolutely no idea, I'm going to go with C.
Okay.
Dopamine. That's the way I was leaning. But just because I was thinking like, oh, maybe they're getting like little dopamine hits that keep them alive. Up. Yeah. Keep them alive enough. But
no, yeah,
that wouldn't suppress their appetite. I wouldn't think, but I don't know. I don't know what glycogen does. I've heard the word.
Yeah. It's the fuel for our cells.
So glycogen.
Wrong and wrong.
Damn it. Leptin.
Sorry. It's leptin. Yeah.
What is leptin?
It's a hormone.
Okay.
We all know that. And we have some new Rack Pack members this week.
If you don't know what the Rack Pack is, you may not, Keith. So it's a private Facebook group for other like-minded idiots like us that like this show for some weird reason. And you just got to search 100% Wild Rack Pack, join the page, and it's a cool little community that we've built up over the last couple of years. Yeah. So what are the new names, Timmy?
Drew A. Blank.
That's probably the fake one.
Derek Toso, Damon Carter, Shane Hill, Brady Schimmeler, Josh Duke, Sparks Schuyler, Chad Twenter, Jim Abbott, David Cart, Nathan Gassaway, and Dreama Schwanger. Clower.
So those are all fake names except for that last one. Is that what I'm getting here?
Jim Abbott? If that's a fake name, that's a pretty prosaic.
No, the fake is in they're not new Rack Pack members.
Oh. It is a lot of people. Because
it's a lot of people, but there's only one. The one that says real name is Dreama Schwanger.
Who knows?
I'm saying they're all
There's
fake.
no way of knowing this except for hopping in the Rack Pack and interacting with these people. Well, Keith, appreciate your time, appreciate your expertise, and looking forward to spending some time with you in bear camp.
So when's the hunt? How many weeks out are we?
It's a couple weeks away now. I think we leave the 21st or 22nd of May. So getting close. I burnt a mix CD for the road trip up. I intersperse each song with Mambo No. 5.
That's a classic.
You know we don't have tape cassettes or CD players in Canada, right? We're behind the times still.
I am such an ugly
funny thing
American.
about Mambo No. 5, my college buddy Brian, that's what he will karaoke every time we go to a karaoke bar. Jokingly,
that song is terrible.
Oh man, we love it.
Does he do a dance too?
Oh yeah, he'll get in there.
The current corollary is that Shabuzi song.
No, that's awesome.
Here comes the 2 to the 3 to the 4.
That's
Who's
when
getting
I like
paid
to put
for those lyrics?
That's a different song. You know that, right? He ripped that song off of in the bar getting tipsy.
No, I didn't.
Jaquan, Tim, get with the times. Get out of the 80s country.
I own Jaquan suits.
Jaquan was like, that was like 15, 20 years ago.
I wasn't around then.
Well, I'm going to give you a little tip for hanging out with Tim. Don't believe anything he says. If he looks serious, he's screwing with you at somehow, some way. His humor is not great. He's a joy to be around.
Guilty. Wait, was that a joke? Or?
Tim's a joy to be around. He knows a lot of useless information, and he's going to make sure you know that he knows it. And 5, he won't eat carbs. That's it.
6 fun facts about Tim.
I threw a nice one in there.
Yeah, thank you.
He is a joy to be around. I enjoy Tim.
A delight.
He's a delight. So that's it.
I'm just gonna submit the vote. You two need to go film a show together. That's where me and the audience, I think, are leaning here.
Well.
It should be like a super adventurous show where Tim does have to do a lot of stuff for me.
Eat that Casey's pizza.
Teach me along the way. And then I'll take Tim on a hunt like that I would do. And it's like, we stopped at Casey's. We got a piece of pizza.
Yes.
I don't know what that is, but now you got me craving Casey's pizza. So someday I got to have one.
So in the Midwest, there's a gas station. They call it Casey's General Store. And they're all over the place. And they make the best freaking pizza.
Really?
Mr.
Gas station pizza? I've never had that.
It's unbelievable. But Mr. No Carb over here he refuses to eat it. He's better than our audience. He gets the
bottled water.
Yeah. And the little cheese snack.
We'll have a great road trip. I'll get him a 12-pack of water, and I will.
That's right. So,
12-pack of water.
So if he were to hunt with me, we'd stop at Casey's. Then we'd take my electric buggy off the trailer and we drive it up to my little parking spot that I've built that's like 100 yards from my box blind that's sitting over the food plot. And we just sit there for 3 or 4 hours.
There's someone to film
on
it
my
too.
350 acre lease. So,
I'm down.
That'd be the
that
difference.
could happen.
And the chances are we'd kill the same amount of shit on his style of hunting as mine.
The results are the same.
None.
Just the inputs are different.
So,
it's been a pleasure, guys. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Keith.
Keith just ended the show for us.
I get it.
I like him.
When we started, he had said he had nothing but time.
Now he's like,
you told me 45 minutes, so I feel bad. That's all.
You are Canadian.
All right, Rack Packers. We'll stick around. We'll probably do a follow-up show in June and talk about what happened.
Yeah, would love that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, Keith. We appreciate you. Good luck, and good luck hunting with Tim.
Thanks, guys.
Until next time, peace out.
DeerCast is completely updated and better than ever. Prep, predict, and pursue your target buck with our detailed maps, weather, and 14-day movement predictor.
We're adding new videos every week, so make sure to click that subscribe button and check out all of our amazing content. This episode of DoD TV is brought to you by DeerCast Maps, waypoints, weather, virtual rain gauges, and more. Every tool you need to get ahead of your game.